and the name is Shimshon Zelig. So my wife and I were talking in the hospital, and she we were talking about different names, and she was like, she it just came to her. She was like, oh, Shimshon, I really like the name. What do you think about it? I said, okay. What? I said to her, let's take it one step at a time, because we just went through a lot, and let's go through names together. Let's see. Let's have the usual suspects. We'll see exactly what comes out afterwards. The last four or five that stick out. We went through what they mean and this and that, the depths of them, the record, this and that, right? And then we just kept going, came back to Shimshon. And the one thing that I could think about with Shimshon is that it talks about mighty as a son. So who in the Torah do we call the son? So Yaakov Avinu, right? Yaakov Avinu. So Yosef HaTzadik has a dream, and he sees the sun and the moon. So Yaakov and Leah, and the 11 stars bowing down to him, and the Shvatim bowing down to him, right? So then he comes to Yaakov, and Yaakov says, "How do you know I was called the Shemesh, right? How do you know I'm called the sun, right?" So why is he called the sun? Why that? What's the Rabbeinu saying on the first page of L'Kutei Moharan? He says that a person has to see the Chachma and the Sechel sheyesh b'chol davar, right? And to be able to make what's the Chachma and the Sechel, the connection of the two. I'm sorry, like the psukim are escaping me, but it creates the word chen, and then afterwards they svisa, and it makes the impression. So what's the chen that is created? The Chachma is the mind, the Bina is the heart, and then there's an impression that the two of them make together, and together that creates the word Nachas, right? So what does that do? That illuminates the path. And how does the path illuminate? So we see again by Yosef HaTzadik. It says in the Torah, he's the Ish Matzliach, right? Is the Ish Matzliach? Was he? I mean, like, he grew up, he was hated by his brothers on their level, right? He was hated by his brother level. He went through all the different things they went through. We know the story, right? He got sold by his brothers, threw into a pit. He was thrown into jail wrongly. He was run after by a married woman. He went through just insane struggles. And he's the Ish Matzliach. How is that possible? How is that possible, right? But he's the Ish Matzliach because of the fact that he saw the Chachma Sechel sheyesh b'chol davar. In the darkest times, he had emunah. In the darkest times, he had his father's face. So the question is when a person has a challenge, it's brought down that every single thing that he ever accomplished is taken away from him. He's like a new word baby. It's like a Kodesh Baruch Hu is trying to really test him. It's not these madrigas. Okay, now that he has madrigas, like look down on the challenge. No, all the things you've accomplished are taken away from you, and you have to be able to face that challenge brand new. So how did he see his father's face in the challenge? How do you see the Mara of his father? Because he never stopped thinking about his father. Because he held on to that Nekuda Toiva of his father, that Nekuda, that aspect of being able to connect to his father, be able to see his father. What would my father say if he was here? What would my father? What kind of chizuk would he give me? What would I do if he was looking at me right now? Would I be looking at Eishes B'Tifar? Would I be thinking about it? Is it impossible? I don't care about all these cheshbonos. Oh, and the stars I see that really through her my zera is supposed to come. There's no such thing. There's halacha. Halacha dictates is that I should not do this. Period. Why? Because Pashtus, Hashem said so. Doesn't make a difference how fancy it gets. Doesn't make a difference what the world tries to distract us with. What the Yetzer Hara tries to distract us with. What a challenge is, pain, difficulty, whatever it is. The main thing to be Ish Matzliach is to see HaKadosh Baruch Hu in every single thing. To see the Kedusha, to thank Hashem. It's easy to think of Hashem. Oh, I won $1 million. Congratulations, you thank Hashem. What about when it's painful? What about when it's difficult? What about when you're struggling? What about when you feel like you don't want to get up? Do you thank Hashem then? That's what Yosef HaTzadik did. That's what he did. Thank Hashem. And where did he learn that from? Yaakov Avinu. Where did Yaakov Avinu? He went through. It said that every single thing that Yaakov went through, Yosef HaTzadik went through. Right. So Yaakov went through the same things, and he learned from him to be the Shemesh. How did he learn from the Shemesh? Because he was the Bechor. He got the Bechor, even though he wasn't the oldest, but he conquered the Bechor because he saw the Shemesh, and he conquered it because he saw Hashem through everything. So the name Shimshon connected with Zelig. Zelig was the name of my father, Alav Shalom, and we're still in the Shana. My brother and I still in the Shana. Excuse me a second. My father grew up in Connecticut, and he came from a family that were totally not from. Totally not from. He had grandparents who had some shaykhus to Kedusha, some shaykhus, they think they had a Reform synagogue or conservative synagogue, I think, in Connecticut. And basically his parents, especially his mother, had nothing to do with Yiddishkeit. Like, not, it's not the best thing. Totally against Yiddishkeit. Totally against Yiddishkeit. And yeah, my father, through also the help of his grandparents, he learned his own parsha. With a person who didn't learn Allah, he just decided, I'm going to do this. I'm going to learn my parsha. Later on, he married my mother. He wasn't from, so he married my mother, and she wasn't Jewish at the time. And together they have my 3 brothers. And together, after making a lot of money, after him graduating Harvard with honors, which was really easy for him, he was a Gaon. After all these different things, he found the Kedusha. He and my mother found Kedusha. They found sincerity. They found the truth, and they ran towards it. They ran towards it the same way that my father ran towards it when he was a young child. When he ran towards Bar Mitzvah, and he said, I don't care how I look. I don't care that nobody does this. I don't care that my parents don't want it. I don't care if I get punished. I don't care what happens. I'm going to do this because it's Ratzon Hashem. Because there's something in me that's telling me this is what Hashem wants from me. So his name is Zelig, means blessed. His name is Zelig, means I'm blessed. It doesn't make a difference what my challenges and my difficulties are. So the connection of Shimshon, the Gibor, the Amitz, the powerful person who just went and he just conquered, and our enemies were just trembling in terror from him. The same way that he went and with Aziz Kedusha just went and conquered, the same way Zelig, the same way my father just went and he just literally accomplished and conquered every aspect of his life. And as time was on, he just transformed and changed and grew and changed. For us, it's so difficult. We go to Minyan, we go to different things, and it gets normal to a certain extent. For my father, it was never normal. For my father, he always wanted to see deeper. He always wanted to learn more. He always wanted to connect more. He always wanted to be more. He had a really hard time in Eretz Yisrael. He had a really hard time making parnassa. He started Kola. How many people who go from being really rich, everything comes to them, losing all their money, making aliyah, and then going to Kola for a few hours in the morning? I mean, it was mind-boggling what he did. And the whole time, he held on to family. He held on to Torah. He held on to tefillah. He held on to emunah. And that's why we have such a schos of naming our son after him. Such a schos of having that combination of physically strong of Shimshon, one of the Dayanim, who was able to judge and see HaKadosh Baruch Hu through everything. And to be able to have my father, to be able to have Zelig. And in Mitzvah Hashem, we should all be zocha, together, Am Yisrael, to be able to see the sun, within ourselves, because we're all Bnei Yaakov. Every single one of us, Bnei Yaakov. Every single one of us has a kashrus to Yaakov Avinu, who became Yisrael. Every single one of us has Yisrael, where maybe feel like Yaakov in the moment, but every single one of us has the ability to break through and reach towards that Yisrael, that Amkus, that depth, the Kedusha, the Chelek Alekim Mal Mamish that's inside of us. And we should all be zocha to be able to see the good points in every single one of the Kodah Tova, the good things, be able to see each other properly and ourselves properly, and to be able to illuminate the whole world, and to be able to bring Mashiach to the kingdom of Amen.
Amen. Amen.